Because it seems to be making a lot more people aware of different situations that exist in the world, and it's created a really big underground network as well through magazines like Maximum Rock and Roll, and plus just writing to people in different countries. It seems to be breaking down a lot of the barriers between different countries through correspondence, mail and music and stuff like that.
Do you think it'll die out?
No.
It's been
going for nearly 10 years now, so...
But even so, I don't sort of see punk as just started up in the last 10 years. I see it like there's been radical artists and, you know, radical people right through the ages that have always stayed underground and, yeah, you know, and kept right out of society and stuff like that because they couldn't handle it. And I think punk is just now another expression of that. And so I think it'll keep on going forever.
It seems like now, like say in 77 it was one style, and then in '82 it might have been a bit more like leaning towards the hardcore and the GBH British bands, but now it seems like that everybody in all punk scenes, because of the correspondence and coming closer together, that every country music is having some sort of influence on all the other countries combined. That's what it seems like to me.
A lot of people think punk's dead. Well, I don't know why a lot of people think that, because punk at the moment is healthier and more full-on and more into it than it's ever been. There's hundreds and hundreds of punk bands throughout the whole world now than there was in '77. In '77 it was basically confined to England, and there was early Ramones and that in America, but now it's just, you know, completely opened up throughout the States and in a lot of other countries in the world, like Italy, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland.
See, to me there's always been punk, there's always been... See, punk's just a word that people have put on the radicals now, you know. It used to be hippies, and it used to be beatniks, and it used to be something else. It used to be rockers, and it's like, I've got this interview from Angry Anderson, and it says to this guy saying to him, you know, I'll play it to you later actually, says, you know, some people say Rose Tattoo are a punk band. He goes, well, to me all true rock and rollers involved in music are punks, and he reckons Bobby Lloyd's a punk, and Billy Thorpe was a punk, and I'm a punk.
It's a reaction to a lot of, like, ideas that we're brought up with, like, you know, like the idea that we've got to, you know, if there's a war, we've got to all go and fight it, you know, and fight for our flag and our country and our leaders and stuff like that, which is really wrong, because, you know, there's no reason for these wars. They're just used to make money for the industrialists, really, you know.
Well, Australia seems to be like an island that's a big relay system. That's what I can gather from it. Don't you reckon?
Yeah.
It seems like it's like this, you know, like everybody thinks, oh, you know, if there's a nuclear war, yeah, there'll be one, but they won't drop many bombs on Australia because of this and that. But I don't think it's like that. I think it's the other way, and that people are thinking that, well, you know, Australia's a little place out of the way, so we can put all our relay stuff there, and they'll cop it real bad, you know, because all the relay stuff's there, and it's only a little shitty island anyway, so nobody really cares about it, you know.
But it's that little
I mean?
shitty island that's full of all the yellow cake that's making.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what our song says, you know. Uranium mining yesterday, MX warheads here to stay. And in that song Australia, Australia, it goes, Australia, Australia, our beloved land, come mining our uranium, we'll make a couple of grand. goes good money for the economy. It'll provide you with a job, supplying the superpower with uranium for bombs. See, that's what Australia is. Australia is that fuel for the nuclear power. That's where it stands, right in the middle of it. It's like another song we wrote, money buys weapons, weapons for sale, supplier makes profit from war, you know, regardless of life. It doesn't... So it's like they're saying, yeah, well, we'll sell you uranium, we don't want to know what you do with it, because we're just selling you a product. But, you know, if you use those, put it in those bombs, or, you know, make something from it that's going to kill another person, well, you know, it's sort of like we're not part of it, you know what I mean? That's what it's like they'll do it, but they don't want to sort of admit that, like this, that thing, right? There's this comic in this magazine I got from overseas, and it's got this guy, and it says, it's got a secretary, she goes, oh, I just relay the phone calls, and it's got this other guy goes, I just drive the truck, and the other guy goes, I just fly the aeroplane, and the other guy goes, I just relay the messages from the plane to the other plane, the other guy goes, I just flick the switch, and the other guy goes, I just fly the plane, you know? And then it goes, I just push the button, and then it's got this Chinese guy goes, which kills me.
The past has brought us war and death and famine and things like that.
But surely by looking back at the past, you can try and discover what went wrong.
Yeah, well, what's being what's
but
going wrong?
that's not happening, it's just getting worse.
I'm not saying ignore the past, I'm saying learn from it. Because people don't. They just say, gee, we were really great in World War One and World War Two. We won, we bombed the Japs, we did all this
they
stuff.
celebrate the
Yeah,
fact
I mean...
they had wars, you know.
And then you have places like RSLs and stuff like that.
Bruce Ruxton.
Yeah, like people like Bruce Ruxton and that. And you have places like the RSLs where all these guys who went out and fought for their country, you know, all this patriotism and stuff. And they go there and they drink and they talk about old times where they killed people.
Yeah, these are the people who say this are the people who justify, you know, going to Vietnam. They're the people who say, well, Vietnam, you had to do that because, you know, if we didn't do it, the communists would have done it.
But if somebody turned around and said, okay, we're going to take away what you've got country-wise. Like, say a big bad, I'll use Russia as an example, came into Australia and said, right, we want all of whatever you've got to offer. Wouldn't you fight against that?
Well, wouldn't the Russians be as bad as the Americans? Aren't they the same thing? That's the way I see it. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like all we know.
That's the problem. Like,
Yeah.
propaganda's installed into people's heads through that TV screen over there, and through other things as well. People's minds are manipulated.
All we know of the Russians is what we get to see on.
Russians are just people, you know.
Yeah.
If the Russians want to come here and take over the country, it's not the Russians that want to do it, it's the political leaders that want to do it.
It's the same.
It's
I mean,
not the
America's taken over this country already anyway, and nobody's actually got up and fought them. I mean, people think, gee, great, we've got Coca-Cola and Pizza Huts and
McDonald's and
yeah,
all these
and
nice
they
little
accept
companies.
it because you know, there's two types of villains. There's ones that are subtle, like America's really subtle. It uses different methods of oppressing people, whereas Russia's more direct, like a thug who walks down the street and whacks someone over the head with a club, whereas America's like the Godfather who says, hey Billy, go and get this guy with it, you know. Like, they're the same type of villain, except they use different methods, you know.
Like, you look at man over the periods of time, in order to create change, he's turned to a violent method like revolution and that, right? And revolution, you kill someone, you replace them with another system again, you know? But this way, it's like people are trying to, they're saying, right, well, we want change, but we don't want to create it through violent means, we want to create it through a passive means. And the way to create change is through communication. Like, if you can sit down and talk to people on a personal level from any country about anything, that's going to create change.
We're taught that this lump of concrete that we're living on, this lump of